All right, so right now it's being said that about 33% of trucking companies may go out of business due to everything that's going on. The main reasons that's being thrown around is high fuel prices and low rates.
Largest trucking companies in the country is shutting down and laying off its employees.
Over the past 3 or 4 years, the freight demand has gone down, which means that thousands of owner-operators and small trucking companies have gone out of business.
Listen, this is so, oh my gosh. If you work in the trucking industry, if you are a trucking industry expert, please chime in, because when did the trucking industry not become good job security? Now, Yellow Trucking Company has closed its doors, therefore leaving over 30,000 employees nationwide with no job.
If your entire income depended on the road, miles, fuel, deadlines, not shortcuts, just you and the highway, and then suddenly everything gets more expensive, everything gets tighter, and the pressure starts building, how long before you start asking what actually changed? Because this right here, this isn't just a trucking story. It's a reality story. Before I break it down, go watch those clips real quick. Pay attention to what they are saying. Then come back, because we are about to connect everything. Let's go watch those clips and we'll come back for our full discussion on them.
Over the past 3 or 4 years, the freight demand has gone down, which means that thousands of owner-operators and small trucking companies have gone out of business. But it seems that freight is coming back, which means big opportunity for everybody in the trucking industry. More loads and not enough drivers. So now is the time to get back on the road and chase that white line. If you need a truck, give us a shout and check out the link below.
Miss Felonies, please come to the front. So I know that you think I'm all up in your business and I'm just looking you up and girl, so many people hate you on this app that the information literally just falls in my lap. Like this here. What trucking business are you running with no trucks that are operational? Girl, you like telling people you have a trucking business and you own trucks. Girl, you got one truck and it's 100% out of fucking commission. I mean, and from my understanding, that has nothing to do with the lawsuit. That was because of her inspection failing. So maybe just admit you don't have a trucking business anymore, babe. It didn't work out. It's okay. You're a panhandler now.
Listen, this is so, oh my gosh. If you work in the trucking industry, if you are a trucking industry expert, please chime in, because when did the trucking industry not become good job security? Now, Yellow Trucking Company has closed its doors, therefore leaving over 30,000 employees nationwide with no job, with no source of income to feed themselves or their family. These employees are feeling hoodwinked and bamboozled because they said, listen, we already took cut in wages and pensions when we went to the table the first time, many times, just so this company can stand. And in the end, we still got messed over. Even after the company took a over $700 million bailout from the government back in 2020, this still happened. As an employee, you would feel hoodwinked as well. I just can't even imagine how they're feeling, pissed off, disgusted, and just overwhelmed. So prayers out to all of them that were laid off. And you guys, please chime in, because what's going on with the trucking industry?
It's very sad for the community. It always is when a large company closes down.
Small signs posted at the Yellow Trucking Terminal in Copley Township read, all company operations have ceased as of Sunday, July 30th. For Keith Stevenson,
it's like a slap in the face after all that we've done for them.
It marked the end of 35 years with the company, including 16 years as a dock worker at the Copley Yard. He says union workers have made several concessions over the years, including cuts to wages and pensions.
We weren't there to pay off their credit cards. And that's what it came down to. The working people of this country shouldn't have to pay corporate America's credit card off.
Multiple reports say Yellow was locked in a battle with Teamsters and struggling financially, despite receiving a large government loan in 2020.
There was a $700 million bailout. They owe $729 million to the federal government.
Closing down operations means about 30,000 people who work for the trucking company will lose their jobs. About 600 of them work in Summit County, including at the terminals in Copley and Richfield. Union leaders believe bankruptcy is next for Yellow.
I know almost every one of them that's lost their jobs. I've worked beside them or for them or with them, and, you know, throughout that whole time.
It's not just numbers for you.
No, it's personal.
Teamsters are not sure how much the supply chain will be affected, pointing out that other trucking companies will likely step up, and the LTL, or lighter than truckload market, is soft.
It's always been picked up. We've lost companies before, unfortunately. Maybe another one will pop up.
The president of Teamsters Local 24 says right now he is also working to find ways to help the hundreds of Yellow trucking workers who suddenly find themselves without jobs.
We are in the process right now working with Ohio Jobs and Family Services to help them with, getting unemployment and then the possibility of maybe retraining.
There will also be a huge loss of income tax dollars. The mayor of Richfield says the city could lose up to $1 million. And there's the question of what becomes of the properties.
That'll be probably the biggest impact for us, to what we'll repurpose the property, if it's transportation again, or it could be something else.
As for Keith, he's forced to focus on what's next. Find another job.
Find another job. That's all you can do. Like I said, you keep putting one foot in front of the other.
In Copley Township, Bob Jones, News.
The spokesperson of Yellow Trucking Company for comment on the closing and possible bankruptcy. We have yet to hear back. Okay, so let's go in depth for a second with a look at other trucking companies that went bankrupt or out of business. 3 major carriers went out of business back in 2019. Ohio-based Falcon Transport ended its operations that year, putting nearly 600 drivers out of work. New England Motor Freight filed for Chapter 11, blaming rising costs and declining profit margins. And Celadon shut down after an accounting fraud scheme. 3,000 drivers were left out of work in that one.
Largest trucking companies in the country is shutting down and laying off its employees. Yellow Corp notified its 30,000 workers of the decision over the weekend. The company is expected to file for bankruptcy after failing to refinance over $1 billion in debts. Its customers included retailers like Walmart and Home Depot. The closure comes just days after Yellow averted a strike from 22,000 of its unionized workers.
So a while back, I was asking about what happened to 10 Roads Express. They were a biggest contractor for USPS, and USPS dropped most of the companies and went on their own. But now, if you don't know, 10 Roads Express is going under. They're going out of business. But here's my thing. I see all these companies go out of business because they have a lot of trucks and they have employees. Why don't they downsize while they're looking for other contracts? Why don't you keep at least some of your employees? You never know, you can go back up. Why just give up and throw in the towel? I mean, all you gotta do, get rid of some trucks, maybe lay off some employers, and I know most of them are union, so okay, they can always come back. I just don't understand why throw in the towel and just call it quits. Like, why? I mean, there's always contracts out there. There's always little things you can do until you go back on your feet. And this is another union company. As far as I know, they have about 60 days before they lose their jobs. Don't wait till the last minute, start looking. They're not going to do you any favors anyway.
The trucking industry was stunned by the sudden closure of Montgomery Transport and many other trucking companies recently. And we know the impact is personal. To every driver, dispatcher, and office team member affected, this isn't just a job loss. It's a disruption in your routine, your livelihood, and your identity as a professional in this industry. At Central Oregon Truck Company, we believe in taking care of our own, and that includes you. We're here to help you transition, whether that means getting back on the road with Central Oregon Truck, no matter what state you live in, or connecting you with another OPCO through our nationwide carrier network. If we're not a fit for you, no hard feelings. We'll set you up for success with another carrier. You've worked too hard to let this be anything more than a bump in the road. We're here to set up with you. Steady, reliable freight, dependable pay, and a company that respects what you've been through. To help spread the word, we're offering a $2,000 referral bonus to any employee who refers a driver that gets seated in a truck. Let's take care of the good drivers together. Tap the link below to get started. You've got experience. You've got grit. Let's keep you rolling with a company that has your back.
How many more brokers and trucking companies are going to go out of business this year? I think a ton more. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, the market is tightening when it comes to actual drivers. Is there a driver shortage or is there a professional driver shortage? Those are two different things. But if you can't find professional drivers, meaning they're actual legit drivers that aren't going to put yourself in or your company in a bad situation. They know how to do PTIs, they're taking care of the equipment, they're running everything correctly by the books. It's going to make it very difficult for companies to survive. So what does that mean for the market? Market means more pay. More pay means that if you have contracts with your customers as a broker, that you're going to eat some of these losses. How much are you willing to eat? How many loads are you going to give back? I heard JB Hunt gave back a ton of loads to one of their big customers because they want to move everything spot because they were making more money on the spot and the contracts weren't just fulfilling their needs on the broker's side anymore. It hurts. It hurts when you're losing money, and maybe they lost too much money in the last 2 months, 2.5 months, and they don't see it stopping. So there's going to be a lot of people that go out of business from the trucker side and the broker side. Stay tuned. We'll keep you in touch and in tune with what happens.
Yes, breaking news. Taylor Express has abruptly went out of business without telling their drivers a single thing, shutting off pay and fuel cards, leaving truckers stranded miles away from home. If you're a Taylor truck driver, let me know in the comments what you're doing to get yourself back home. Me, honestly, I will start selling stuff out of my dry van box just to make it home, or honestly drive as much as I can towards home with whatever fuel I got in the truck, and then grabbing a taxi, a bus, or a plane ticket and making it back home. The closer you are to home, the cheaper it is to get yourself back home. But in my opinion, a lawsuit is about to happen with the drivers against Taylor Express because there was no warning whatsoever of them closing down at all. That is very bad when that happens to truck drivers, and I feel sorry that it happened. Big companies like that especially need to be able to tell their drivers in advance what's going on and get ready to get home, get their last paycheck, and find a new job. Taylor Express has not done that. Now, who is to blame for this? The economy. The freight economy especially, because if we're not pushing $3 a mile on all freight, this is exactly what's going to happen. Fuel prices are not $1.77 a gallon. They're way higher, and insurance premiums are way higher than that. And then you got to try to pay drivers not 60 or 50 cents a mile now, but up to 80 cents a mile because cost of living went up. Now you got to pay your employees higher than what it used to be.
All right, drivers, let's hear your opinions. With the recent close of Montgomery Transport yesterday, Carroll Former not too far ago, what do y'all think's the cause of it? Do you think it's market, freight rates? Do you think it's bad business practices? Bad upper management? What's y'all's opinion? What do y'all think's causing these trucking companies to close down? Let me know in the comments. I think it's a little bit of everything, market, the way they operate, and operating costs, because operating costs for a company owner operator is outrageous right now. Insurance is crazy. So let me know what y'all think. Put it in the comments. All right, see.
A California-based trucking company has officially shut down. TGS Logistics has officially closed its doors. Let's talk more about it. On July 31st, 2025, TGS Logistics has announced that the company is closing permanently. In a statement released to the public, they said, "It is with profound sadness and heavy heart that TGS announces the official closure of its operation effective July 31st, 2025. The closure highlights the growing strain on small and mid-sized carriers in today's volatile freight market. TGS pointed to challenging market conditions as the main reason for shutting down. TGS Logistics was founded back in 1985 by Timothy G. Schneider as a truck brokerage. Over the years, it grew into a drayage company operating in California and Nevada, serving major ports like Oakland, Los Angeles, and Long Beach. According to federal records, the company operates 20 power units and employs 20 drivers. Company leaders took a moment to thank their drivers and staff for their dedication, especially over the last 12 to 18 months. Another legacy carrier now gone. Sad, sad moment. I did a video a few days ago about Carol Fulmer going out of business, and I said if a big company like this is struggling to survive, imagine what the smaller carriers are going through. And now I'm doing a story about a smaller carrier who's shutting down, who's going out of business. So, food for thought. If you're a trucker or someone impacted by this, let us know in the comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.
I just seen where Montgomery Transport is closing the doors. Another flatbed company's gone. This trucking market's getting rough. I just seen it posted, the letter to the company drivers got, and it's all over Facebook right now, so it's true. And so if you see any of their drivers out there on the road and they need help them out, because that's a bad deal. And from what I've seen, they're filing Chapter 7, ceasing operations immediately. So if you see a Montgomery Transport driver out on the road and they need some help and you can help them out, because that sucks to lose your job just all of a sudden like that right there. And yeah, it's a rough market. So, alright, just gonna let y'all know about this. I just seen it. See ya.
Another trucking company is shut down, closes doors, just like that, no warning. Hundreds of employees out of work, family about to be struggling. Where's this great America that this guy in office has been promising? Is this the great America that he's been talking about? These tariffs are causing companies to go out of business. And before y'all come on here talking about the other administration, we talking about this administration, because we already know the other administration was terrible as well. It's just people could admit to that, but can't admit that this administration is terrible too. It's just a big disaster going on right now in the great America. Who's he making America great for? Sure ain't the working class. Must be the rich and the elite.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on and fucking on. Like, how? Tell me fucking how. 92-year-old Texas trucking company files bankruptcy liquidation. Files for bankruptcy liquidation. Arnold Transportation. And it's crazy because back in the days, I used to want to work for Arnold. They had like this regional run. It was like Texas only, or like Texas to Arkansas. They had a run like that a while back. It was years on top of years ago. And I wanted to work for them, but then I said, you know what? I ain't gonna do it. I don't think I'm gonna do it. And I went another route. But I was seeing them. They was always in San Antonio. They was always at Reynolds Distribution Center. They was always down there, and they had like a Texas region run. But they going out of business? Why are they going out of business? Why so many trucking companies going out of business? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Hey guys, I shut my trucking company down in 2022. And I lost a lot of money. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what I learned from it, that I am not my business. I kept going. I didn't give up. And what you have to understand is failure is a part of success. Me feeling like I was failing made me keep going. And now I'm into the restaurant business and I'm making millions of dollars. The key thing that I want to tell you is don't give up. Don't define yourself as the business, and keep going, and don't you give up.
Yellow Freight Trucking Company, after 99 years, just closed their doors and laid off 30,000 employees. I'd be thinking, what does that matter? The point of the story is that they were $729 million in debt to the federal government. And those poor employees, they're left with no retirement and no pension. Some of these people have been working there 20 or 30 years, and they were actually getting ready to retire. I can't help you recover your pension. However, if you did happen to have a 401k plan, we can at least save that money.
There's no simple or delicate or easy way to talk about this, but I truly feel I must because it's been such a huge part of my life the past 38 years. Been the pillar of my entire family for all of our lives. This is my family's trucking company. It's called Carol Former Logistics and it's based out of Florida. And after 71 very blessed and beautiful years, released an official press statement that we were closing down for good. We just simply couldn't survive financially in the trucking industry anymore. Of course, it's never that simple. There are a lot of different factors and decisions and betrayals that led to this very awful thing. Over 600 people suddenly without a job. Our slogan was that we weren't just another trucking company, we were family. And that held so true. We were all one big family, just hauling freight across the United States, dealing with dispatch dramas, counting headaches, all the turmoil that comes with running in the trucking industry. But dang it, it was beautiful. And it was ours. Still so much more I need to say on this, but I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, so right now it's being said that about 33% of trucking companies may go out of business due to everything that's going on. The main reasons that's being thrown around is high fuel prices and low rates. Now, I really want to be careful on how I come off on this video because I don't want you to take it the wrong way. But do you remember when not too long ago, everybody was getting PPP loans and SBA loans? I know guys that was getting $80,000, $200,000 and more. My question is this, did we go through all that money already? For a lot of us, that money was on top of what we were already making. Honestly, I just really want us to look into ourselves and ask, what is the problem really? Is it really the trucking business or is it just how we manage our money? Drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you think and share this video with somebody.
I want to talk to you about trucking companies going out of business in the United States rapidly. Yes, truckers voted for Donald Trump. This is somewhat of a FAFO. This is a company that is going out of business and it's mainly in Florida, but they are not the only trucking company. Here are a few lists of trucking companies going out of business in 2025. If you have not heard, UPS is laying off 9. It is going to be an absolute disaster.
2 trucking companies filed for bankruptcy today. 2. That's crazy. There are 2 companies that have a lot of power units. One of them is Robert Bearden out of Georgia, and they have about, I think I read about 400 power units and about 100 to 200 drivers. The other company, I believe it's called Quickway Transport. They also filed for bankruptcy today, and they have about, I want to say like 200 or 300 is what I read, drivers. So in addition to these carriers filing for bankruptcy today, we have to remember that they utilize other carriers to move their freight as well. And when we're dealing with carriers owing other carriers money and then that carrier goes bankrupt, you can imagine what's going to happen to the person they owe money to. So if this isn't purely indicative of the market flipping, I don't know what is. And I don't think it's coincidence that 2 companies filed for bankruptcy today. Maybe I'll share something else in another post about the specifics around these and some other stuff that I found. Let me know what you want to hear about.
As you have seen those clips, let's have a real talk about it. What we are looking at is prayer building inside the trucking industry. And when trucking feels prayer, the entire community feels it because trucking moves goods, food, supplies, everything, almost everything. Let's simplify it this way. Right now, drivers are dealing with rising fuel costs, maintenance expenses, tighter profit margin, and unpredictable demand. So what happens? Earning gets squeezed, and when earning gets squeezed, frustrations grows. Now, here's where it gets real. People start asking, why is this happening? And sometimes the question is not simple. It involves policy decision, market shifts, and global factors. All it at once. Let's be honest. Most people don't think about system until those systems affect their money. And when it hits your pocket, that's when attention goes up. Now, let's talk about perception about Black communities and Black individuals. Navigating economic pressure is not new. There is a long history of adapting to financial challenges, building under tough conditions, and finding ways to survive unstable system. So when industry face pressure, that awareness of things can shift fast has always been there. And that mindset, it's about staying prepared, staying informed, and understanding how system move before they eat you. This topic is blowing up because it's relatable. People everywhere are dealing with rising costs, tighter income, and economic uncertainty. So when truckers speak up, people listen. Let's zoom out. This isn't just about trucking, it's about how decision affects industry, how industry affects people, and how everything connects. Because once prayer starts in one place, it's spread. Think about this. If your job suddenly becomes more expensive, more stressful, and less profitable, would you stay quiet, or would you start questioning and at the end of the day, this isn't about blaming anyone, it's about understanding what is happening, learning from it, and adapting. Because in today's world, things change fast, and the people who understand that move faster. Let me ask you something straight. Do you think people really understand how much the trucking industry affects everyday life, or do we only notice it when things goes wrong? Drop your thoughts below and let's have a real talk about it. And if you want more breakdown like this, stay logged in by hitting the subscribe button, because we are not just reacting, we are connecting all the dots. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.